Ah, ATA 120-1058, the weird, creepy, enigmatic channel of variable videos consisting mainly of mobile games, the outdoors, and commentaries. It's crazy to think that I've had this account and I've been running with that nameplate for almost 7 years now. Wow, crazy. So much has really happened over the years in regards to both my life and the changes on YouTube. Seriously, I don't think I even remember what YouTube looked like back in 2010 anymore. Anyways, I've written an entry way back in March early this year in my blog titled A Better Explanation. In that post, I went into details about what this channel was about, why I chose the name it had, and etc, etc. Not sure if I'll post a direct link to the entry or not. Actually, you know what? If I mention it, I'll have to put a link in the description. But to sum it up, this name was created somewhat randomly, though I also wanted to choose something that started with A, so I guess at the time I just spewed random ingredients to my brain and cooked up ATA 120-1058. Why did I have to choose those numbers? I don't know, but let's just say that it's a random, chaotic, mess of a name ending, to be honest. As you will learn from reading the entry, or even just by looking at the upload dates of the videos on the channel, this place has been dusty, silent, dormant, cold, and eerie for over 5 long, bendy-wendy, high and low, north and south, A to Z years until 2016. Wait, what kind of corny description for time passing was that? Anyways, it's been long. But now the place is populated and has lots of videos to watch. Mind you though, if you are new to this channel, it's generally advisable to stay clear of my videos from way back. No explanation is needed, just take heed and listen to the warning. Now at this point you're probably like, can you just discuss the name change already and quit with the long rambling about things people probably won't give 2 pennies about? Well fine, we'll get to that. So, I've enjoyed this name for a while and never really tinkered with the idea of changing it because I thought it was cool, unique, and I just liked it. Recently though, I believe about a month ago, I watched something that brought up the importance of having a good name, and it really caused me to think about my channel's name. It made me think long and hard about the importance of having a better name. Never thought the video would affect me like that, but it did. So let's just step out of YouTube for a second and let me say some familiar titles out loud. Apple, Google, Microsoft, Samsung, LG, McDonald's, Starbucks, Facebook, Amazon, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Intel, Coca-Cola, Toyota, BMW, Ford, General Motors, and Honda. I could go on and on of a list of all the big brands out there, but I'm sure you more than well get the idea of what I'm getting at. These are brands that are so powerful, so successful, and so recognizable that if you were to ask an international question to the world about which of those brands you recognize, you can guarantee that at least 95% of the world should be familiar with at least 1 or 2, if not, all of the businesses I just mentioned. Now, despite what I'm talking about here, I must make it clear that my goal is not to become uber famous. Far from it. The uber famous tend to have very stressful, chaotic, mixed up lives, so the glamour is definitely not worth it if you ask me. Confused about my goals? I've decided that I wanted to rebrand and go with a name that I like. But at the same time, choose a name that is much catchier, familiar, and importantly, easy to remember. Goodness! On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being most difficult, how hard is it to remember ATA 120-1058 and recite it on the first try after seeing it for only 2 seconds? If you're honest, you'll say no less than 8 out of 10. If you even say 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, I won't judge you. I really won't. If you see my recent Lake video, that will explain some obvious things. Anyway, so despite the years I've had with that quirky title that I still for some reason like, it's time for change. So now after 6 years, 10 months, and 32 days, I have now become Guuzaka Tube. Yes. Yes. Yes! After all the possible names I've considered, I've decided that this is ultimately the name that I want to go with for this channel to replace the ancient, outgoing, awkward ATA 120-1058. I'm going to kind of miss that obscure name, but you know what? I felt that it was now time for a change. Time for something different. Time for a new era. Yes, that's right, a new era. By that, I don't mean that this place is going to become drastically different in terms of content all of a sudden, but to continue to push for better quality. You're obviously not going to see huge sparkles and stars with the immediate name change, because that would just be unrealistic on your behalf, or overpromising and under-delivering on mine. Instead, the experimentation and progression I've been through with my past 70 plus videos will continue, but from a higher standpoint. Alright, so now that all of this chatter is out of the way, I should explain how I came up with the Guuzaka tube and what some of my other considerations were. Redbird King would have been a pretty solid, arguably better choice since it would bring my YouTube and Twitter name in nomenclative harmony, but I decided to go with something different. I thought of the Flying Triple A, but that unfortunately would lead to much ridicule, and not to mention the fact that it sounds like the Flying... I thought of various other themes and titles revolved around music, tech or wildlife, such as blackberries, reptiles, more birds, saxophones, viols, and many others, until Guuzaka just randomly came to me and struck me the hardest. I thought about it a little and toyed around with it. Guuzaka? Guuzaka videos? Guuzaka entertainment? Guuzaka star? Or should I simply just call it Guuzaka, taking original, inspirational cues from the tube part of YouTube's name? I threw tube onto the end of the new name and decided to go with that plan and fly with a final Guuzaka tube. It's important to mention this in before people say, "Hey, you copied Fauci tube, and Evan tube, Jillian tube, Tyranitar tube, Philosophy tube, Documentary tube, Emily tube, Atlas tube, Mimo tube, Craig tube, Motorcycle tube, Baba tube, and all the other original tubes out there." Well, I didn't. And oh, let me quickly diss those guys just in case they ever stumble across this remote off-beaten channel and think I'm trying to give them a kind, tender shout-out. You guys suck! Coming up with a new name for anything, whether it be your child, pet, car, business, or account, can be a very daunting, challenging task. So, did you like this video? Comment, rate, like, subscribe, share, read my blog for more info, and visit my Twitter page to see my latest tweets. And don't forget to also participate in the polls in the top right corner in the I circle. And now, you can finally view pictures of my adventures over at my Instagram page.
You must be really bored to be still watching at this point cause the video is over. Got that? Over. You are not going to be seeing any substantial information beyond this point. You're only setting yourself up for danger and increased risks by going further.
Life is like a maze, isn't it?
How much longer is this video going to be? I'm dying here. They can't stand it anymore.
Wow, such a beautiful autumn day.